Hi, everyone. My name's Amy Stevens. I'm an officiant here in the Phoenix metro area, and I am the business owner, AZ Weddings by Amy. And I have the privilege today to talk with Chad Lockerdies of Dance with Chad and Barisa. So we are going to dive in today, and you have so much knowledge about first dance, about how to look like a Fred Astaire and Ginger couple. I don't know who would be a current couple to name. But from that arena of your first dance, as you come out and you feel powerful and you look great and you're just light on your feet. So, Chad, thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, Amy.
So, first and foremost, how long have you been dancing?
Oh gosh, a very long time. I started in 1987.
Okay.
Very long time.
And how long have you and Brisa been dancing together?
Let's see. I believe we started in 2008,
Okay.
and if you would believe, she was not very willing to get on stage at the bridal show. In fact, that was force-fed, and she eventually would get on stage with others, but apparently I was intimidating to dance with. So
And
it's
now
a
you
phase.
now you make her look so, so flowing and just beautiful as she gets out there, and her confidence has also grown quite a bit as well.
She's amazing. I
She
mean, and
is.
just to know she actually makes me look better now than the other way around. In the beginning, yeah, but she's just
And that's the thing about dance partners that I think that everybody needs to understand as we dive into this conversation, because a lot of people are intimidated to get up and dance at their reception. They're freaked out. As you and I have have talked before, it's like being at the prom and the girls have their arms up on the guy's shoulders and he has hands at the waist, and you just kind of, bounce back and
awkward
forth.
sway. Yes,
And that is so not what you create for couples. And I have had the privilege to be able to see your actual couples dancing, and it's been so much fun. And the amount of progress, oh my gosh, the progress, the confidence level, and then they take that into their everyday life. That's the other thing. It's just incredible to watch. Now, I've jumped ahead in what we were going to talk about, but this
that's
is
perfect because I mean that what you described. So many people are afraid to sway awkwardly for 3 minutes, and the system that we teach on makes it so simple that that is so easily avoided within less than a half an hour together, if that. And
absolutely.
from there, they can take it wherever they wish to, whatever they wish to create.
Absolutely. So I want to just put your website up here for everyone to see. So Dance with Chad, everybody in the Phoenix metro area is very familiar with Dance with Chad. And we're giving the opportunity for those younger couples as they step forward and are starting to do their planning of their ceremonies, be it for wedding season of 2024 or beyond. Please know that there are so many great opportunities to understand how to do that first dance. And I want to just chat with you first, Chad, in regards to your dance workshops that you have locally. So for people who want to meet with you in person, and there's other couples that are there as well, let's have a conversation about this real quick, okay?
Sure. I'm a big believer in offering opportunities for people to dance to whatever budget they have. And also time frame. Sometimes people come in with a very short amount of time, and the quickest is a 1-day wedding dance workshop. It's a crash course. For our couples that have been with us for a long time, they come back and use it like a wedding clinic. But basically, it's an hour and a half long, and we take people through the fundamentals and the basics of movement. There's some very simple movement principles that we already know as human beings, and we take that and show couples or the mother and son or the father and daughter or anyone in the bridal party for that matter, or anyone that wants to learn to dance, these core principles that they use every single day that they're not aware of that they use. And then we blend them into a handful of dance related movements and positions. And then from there, create this flow. So it's an hour and a half long for those that prepay. I always prefer to teach rather than having to deal with money the day of and all that stuff. So I will do a bonus half an hour. So it's a 2 hour workshop. And we get a lot done in those 2 hours. Oftentimes we get a chance to also record an example of what they can do to their particular song. And, and it's,
Oh,
yeah.
so how many couples do you usually have within a workshop? Do you limit the number of couples?
We try to keep it no more right now than 4 to 6. There's 2 of us teaching it. When we can get all 3 of us there, we'll increase it to 8 to 10. But we also like to give some individual attention. So, and then the couples that we've had, for example, we've got 2 couples right now that have been training with us 9 to 12 months. So we will bring them in as like support for the newer couples and role models and examples. And on a limited basis, we'll even have them go around and teach a principle to just help support the newer couple. Sometimes it comes across easier when a fellow student can communicate the same message that they either had a challenge with or are seeking to learn or improve. And, with us, it doesn't matter how the message gets received as long as we help that particular couple or partnership with their goals and what they want to create on the dance floor.
And you do these dance workshops once a month, once a
Right
quarter?
now, we hold them once a month during the height of the wedding seasons. We, every week or every weekend rather, and as needed. So I'm a big believer in what our couples need. I will create it one way or the other and make it happen.
Okay.
So, and we
And
hold it in a quiet location. It was really difficult doing workshops at some of the dance studios because it was noisy unless we had the space completely to ourselves, which was, not always a possibility. One of our team members owns a martial arts school, so we have a very quiet area, also a matted area where people can relax and take their shoes off and learn the movements without having rigid shoes on. And then we have a foyer area where they can practice with the shoes on. So it makes it really nice. We don't have to compete with people dancing into us or anything like that.
absolutely. And then you also do regular group classes.
Yes, we have a phenomenal group class sponsored through the city of Mesa. It's a 6-hour course, and oftentimes people will create their dance just in that and do more than just the awkward sway or avoiding the awkward sway. So, adding more elements, maybe more rhythms, things like that, and very reasonably priced. I think right now it's at $69 a person for a 6-hour session, and we hold those every month. So we'll run it on for example, across 4 weeks for an hour and a half. And I typically get there early and do a little bonus time for those that can show up early, and I'll stay a little later and just give a little extra.
So to clarify, when you say it's 6 hours, it's not in one day for 6 hours. It's spread out over 6 weeks.
Typically right now over 4 weeks. So it'll be an hour and a half for 4 weeks. When we were running the 6-week classes, it was an hour, but we found that it was a little bit easier for people to have more time with us on one day and consolidate it, especially with wedding planning and all that stuff. It was easier somehow for people to make that. So we changed it.
Perfect. And then the classes that I always saw were actually the private lessons, which was really fun because it was literally the couple and then you and Brisa. And then as their time together began to progress, then I started to see dad come in for the father-daughter dance.
Yeah.
And then I got to see mom come in for the mother-groom dance, and it was just so fun to watch again how that interaction took place and taking it to the next step. So instead of just a group class, which can be a little intimidating to have other people around, and if you're wanting to have more of that personalized attention, I think the private lessons are really the best route to take. Talk to me a little bit in regards to the private lessons. Do you have one location that you utilize, or do you go to people's homes, or what? How does that look?
Great question. A few locations. One of my favorite locations was actually your studio, and it was always fun to have the setup there for your elopements. It was just wonderful. It was a great space to teach in. I missed that, but yeah. So we do teach, for example, at the martial arts school. We teach also house calls, a little bit higher fee for that. Um, and we've kind of stepped away again from the dance studios simply because of the noise and the intimidation factor. People would dance into the grooms, especially if they were a little nervous, and some wouldn't come back. And so we started doing the house calls again, where they could have a little liquid confidence, relax, learn, um, and call it a date night too. And and venue lessons. We started that up again. That was always a wonderful way to also get the couple used to dancing in the space that they will need to dance in. So,
Oh, that's interesting. So, okay, so having an understanding of where their actual dance is going to be taking place, you go to the venue, and
correct.
oh, interesting. And so, um, is that how long of a time frame is that at the venue then?
It depends on the intricacy of the dance. So if it's a simple dance to one or two songs, usually a visit or two is perfect. We taught a couple that had a medley of about, I think it was 8 to 11 songs. I don't remember exactly. And it took a little bit more floor craft to be aware of where they were facing. We also had her daughter join the dance for one of the songs. He was officially adopting her, and so they did a father-daughter dance as well. She was 8. It was lovely to watch. So we did about 3 or 4 sessions there. So it really depends on the couple, on the family, what they're looking to create. Um, if they're a little nervous about the space, working on the grand entrance, exiting and entering the floor is one of the simplest things, yet it's a little intimidating. Um, and a lot of what we teach is very common sense based, so that they don't have to worry about doing something fancy or out of the ordinary, unless, of course, they want to.
And I don't want to assume, but I'm going to assume this is after a variety of classes in advance, just to start to get used to the movements. And uh, do they provide the music to you in advance and then you start to choreograph something, or how does that all plan out?
Great question. Most couples, I would say 80 to about 88% of the couples and students we've taught, they have come to us with a song or several songs. And we've had a handful of students that don't have a song. They just don't have an attachment or a special song. They just want to learn to dance. And then, I'll give them one of our PDFs that has a list of songs, and choose from there, or practice to a few during the lessons, and all of a sudden one or two stand out and they go, oh, I like that. Or they'll watch Brisa and I dance, and go, oh, I like that. I want to do that.
Okay, so you give them a little coaching in that regards as well if they don't have something that they're drawn to themselves. So that's a nice bonus, really, because I'm often asked, like for ceremonies, well, what music should we use? And I said, "Who's your DJ?"
You defer.
I totally defer because I am not musically inclined, and it's just easier for me to say, well, if you want a really traditional one, Canon and D is beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have a handful that you like? I'm just curious.
I have several. Well, not several. A handful would be would be a good way to put that. But I really do encourage that they defer to their DJ and be able to have that discussion. And I'm sure that it's the same thing for you. You work with the DJ on the music, and does the DJ typically do the montage clip? So like the one that had 8 songs, did they
Yeah.
put that together? Okay.
My favorite is working directly with the DJ through the couple, and because there'll be clips in the song where the couple for sure wants this segment, and there'll be other clips where I suggest, based on the moves, let's do this and so on, and then to give that to the DJ and let them work their magic. That's total teamwork. That's awesome. And we've had a couple times where the couple wanted to use a particular song for their vows. I believe actually it was 1,000 years, and so I think it was our shared couples wanted to walk to that song and then dance also to that song. And they might have had the violinist play, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly who it was, but that ambience is resonating. Yeah.
Yeah, it's being able to have that creativity, I think, is amazing. And working as a team is absolutely an important feature when you're doing this big showcase like that. So if it's the grand entrance and the coming in that way, working with the DJ or the master of ceremonies in that regards, and then from the standpoint of getting everyone up and dancing and excited and having, again, it all comes back to confidence, having that level of confidence to just own it and and enjoy it as much as possible. One of the other things that I wanted to chat with you about was um, in regards to your first dance, where people may not want to necessarily travel to an actual location. Maybe they decide they want to learn from home instead.
Yes, we created this course, gosh, almost a decade to the day that I was asked to create it by one of our military clients. So I had a groom who was stationed in Spain, and the bride was here in Arizona, and we worked with her a lot here. And we would record clips for her to send to him overseas. And then when he came into town for the wedding, we did kind of a boot camp weekend to get them ready. But we put this together, and I actually was going to gift it to them as a thank you, because we've had a lot of students take this course um, on the coasts, ironically, and do the course, and then contact us for a Zoom or two as a like a brush up to give them some feedback on the moves. And then during COVID, we had a few couples here that were trying to get on the schedule, and life happened and so on, and they did the course, and then came in for a wedding workshops, and then I watched them. I'm like, they looked like they had taken like 5 lessons with us. I was blown away, and he was super tall, and she was petite, and they still were able to put together the instructions that we gave on video for their particular situation. And we tweaked, I think, the dip a little bit. And other than that, they were good to go. So I was blown away with, how good a job that whole process was in putting together. So yeah, there's an online option for people, and several levels of it. So there's a simple version and then a more advanced version, depending on the goals of each particular couple.
And your website has such great content on it that I'm just going to place that here again. It's very easy, dancewithchad.com. And then that's going to direct you over to what you see. You will see both the information about group classes, the wedding dance workshops, and then also the online format. So you have a lot of opportunities for people to be able to connect
Yes.
and connect with you. Even at the bottom of your website, your contact information is there so that you can have access to couples who are looking for that information. So even for those of you who are here in the Phoenix metro area and you're doing a destination wedding somewhere else, this is still
Hmm.
a great opportunity for you to have access either online or in person. Um, Again, that private lesson is an opportunity as well, because you spend so much time solely with the couple, because that's the whole point there.
Yep.
And it's it's just such a beautiful thing to just observe. I still just remember those days and watching just the amount of growth. I just can't get enough out of that, of how the couple just, and they grow together. They communicate in a different manner. I would even assume that kitchen dances take place throughout the time as well.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful way to connect with another human being. And, of course, here we're doing it for, you know, couples that are romantically involved. But I really believe dancing has such a unique component to connect with another human being and just be present with whoever you are moving with or dancing with. And, I think that's a really key, important part of our world. At least I think so, and has the ability to enrich lives. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, those of you who find us on social media, if you have any questions and can't find Chad's information, just drop hashtag replay down in the comments, and you can be able to get one of us to be able to provide that contact information. And I'm sure you're not the only one with the question that you're probably thinking about. So, go ahead and ask it. And then again, my website is AZ Weddings by Amy. I'm a wedding officiant, been doing this beautiful career path now for 8 years. And I've had so much fun through the years, both with elopements and larger ceremonies. And
yeah, and I've
even
got to
through,
say, Amy, it's like to see the genuine vibe. I don't know if that's something that people can relate to. It's not only the linguistics that you use when you are with your couple, but there's a special connection that is visible that I feel when um, you do the ceremony, and it's refreshing. And I believe you've shed a tear or two.
yes, there are times that I have shed a tear. Um, yes, I try not to do the ugly cry, but when I really pick up that energy from the couple during their ceremony, and the love and outpouring of all of their guests and their family and friends, everybody who's there, when I just pick that up, it just overwhelms me sometimes. And yes, the tears do shed, and especially if the groom starts crying, because yeah, I don't know. There's something about a man who cries.
Okay, I'll just keep that in mind.
Being vulnerable isn't always easy for some, so it
No,
is
it's
it
not.
is
Yeah,
good. It is good.
yeah,
Well, Chad, I so appreciate you being here and giving a little bit more insight as couples are starting to plan for 2024, and understanding the options that are out there for how to work with you, and that you've been doing this for a while here in the Phoenix metro area, and you've even competed in dance competitions. So I do want to state that as well. This is not just something that you picked up and started teaching. It's that's in your blood.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I've been very well trained. We have an amazing coach that I mean I can't say enough about, and the journey has been very very full in a good
Yes.
way. So
Absolutely. Well, those of you who are looking for that better than the sway at prom
mhm,
dance, reach out to Chad Lockerdies, dancewithchad.com. And Chad, thank you again for taking time out of your busy day.
you're welcome. A cure for the awkward sway is the title of our course.
There you go. That's awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you, Amy.